All right, the recording has started, and this is the June 30th, 2020 Rook Community Meeting. I don't believe we have any 1.2 releases planned, but we do have some 1.3 release, upcoming patch release. And there's a specific fix that I would think we would like to get in there as well. So let's take a look at the 1.3 project board and get the latest status on that one. All right, Travis, do you want to give us an update on here on the board?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, to continue with our pattern of a patch release every other week, this Thursday would be the next one. And so we'll pick up a few fixes. I don't know that the Cassandra ticket made it into this board, but we should definitely add it to get it.
Oh yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, thank you, Alexander, if you can add that to the board here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, Travis. Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think there's anything left in this board that needs to be in there except that Cassandra issue. I'd say, yeah, I'll just leave it in the blocking release column.
Perfect. Yeah, I definitely want to get that out in the patch release so we can just get that out there and finish up that security report to us.
Yeah, Alexander, did they confirm if the scan looks better on that image that you made?
No, I haven't received any response from them back because I tried to run Trevi and Anchorage engine, but well, it showed no CVEs, like none, basically, for the old and new image, and that's where I more or less was like, hey, can you tell us which tool you ran so we can just, well, use the same tool to check. And I have not received any response yet. So, well, let's see.
We could go ahead. Yeah, so we could go ahead and, I guess, change the base image and get it out in the release, but we don't have confirmation of if that fixes it for them, for whatever scanner they're using.
But, well, just from the standpoint of the versions of Alpine, it should fix that because, as I said, like I think we were on 1.8 or something, and 1.8 is not even shown as a tag, like on the, if you go to Docker Hub to an image, like the official images always have like the only use those tags in quotes, you know, tags in the README section, and the 1.8 tag is not even there anymore. So, well, yeah.
That's old. Yep. So we should update it.
Yeah, thanks for updating that, Alexander. I was just checking too on the security mailing list to see if, like one thing I've done before on the CNCF mailing list UI is that doesn't by default do a group reply. So you could, like, you know, reply to something and it only goes to the mailing list and go back to the original sender. So I was trying to see if that was a case of that, if you just essentially posted to the mailing list itself and not included the sender as well. So I didn't see that, but that might be something to take a look at as well.
I replied to the CNCF. Here, let me check. Like what I did is reply all basically, and at least send it back to CNCF Rook Security, and the person.
Okay, they were on the two. Okay.
I might need to check if the other person doesn't seem to be on the list.
Yeah, the security list is a private list for only maintainers. So if any reply that goes to the list itself will not be seen by the original reporter.
So I should. Okay, so I should use the view reply online function and reply online with the reply to all or something, right? Instead.
Yes, that or reply in your email client when you do reply all, add the person's email list to the CC line or whatever, so they'll see it too. That could be the reason why they didn't see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. As I just checked, and it was just the second person, I think, which was CC'd by the initial person. So
okay. But at least one of them though. Yep. But one of them was included on it at least.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, but please do follow up with them so that the original reporter knows that we're taking steps to fix it and planning to get a patch release out this week.
Yep.
Thank you, Alexander. Okay, any other notes on the 1.3 board?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of
Yep. And then 1.4 project board here. Let's load that up and see if there is some essential things to talk about here in the context of the intended feature freeze of potentially 2.5 weeks from now, and at least 4 weeks from now.
Yep. Yeah, those tentative dates I think are still good. I haven't heard any other perspective or feedback or pushback on it. So the project board probably needs another round of update as far as what needs to be in versus what might be nice to have or not even planned. So yeah, I don't know if there's any issues people want to talk through specifically on this board, but I think not so much. Although I do see that the first issue in the list, admission controller, can probably be closed now because that one was merged. Strangely, not sure why that was not closed by the PR. All right, I'll follow up on that one. But
cool. All right, that sounds good then to me. And then you said that you don't know of any pushback or complaints about these suggested or proposed release dates. So we'll keep those, we'll hold those in then.
mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So that's everything on upcoming releases for 1.3 patch this week, and then a 1.4 release by the end of July. All right. So Steph has a new notable feature of the admission controller.
Yep. So just wanted to point that out. It merged, and it was done in a way that hopefully is easy for other operators to also create their admission controller. There's a new admission controller package, basically that the other providers can implement. So yep, glad to add that in there. And there's still some follow-up work to do there as far as what we can do to simplify certificates, because right now it's an optional component because of the self-signed certificates. So I'd love to find a way to kind of make it a required component so we can always have an admission controller checking our CRD input.
Hey, Travis, is that using the built-in the controller runtime implementation of the validation webhook server stuff?
So that one is not. So that's another area for investigation, because I know. Sorry, was it? What's his name? That's working on the NFS controller.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Ahmad. He has
right.
an implementation using that, and it's super simple. I noticed that there's a lot of code that went into, logic and stuff that went into the implementation here, but the controller runtime implementations, it does all the setup and handling and reconciliation and all that stuff. It's fairly simple inputs required to it. So that's something that I would definitely recommend looking at further to refine this, to remove our maintenance on our plate for the implementation that we currently have.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd love it if that would solve a lot of these problems and simplify things. So
awesome. I have reviewed and tested the controller runtime implementation and the webhook validating admission webhook and stuff from controller runtime that Ahmad is using, and it all looks pretty decent. So I think we'll talk more about it when we get there, but it looks like it's a pretty simple way to do it. So which is always nice to reuse the upstream community's efforts.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
I think this one was already pretty much done before we realized that, oh, there's that other thing. And so we just finished it off. And yeah, we'll go back and hopefully fix that. Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay. Then we can move ahead on to an update on the CNCF graduation proposal. So we got in the due diligence, we got in the official SIG recommendation, and so SOD, our TOC sponsor, opened up the public comment period, I don't know, 5 days ago, maybe up to 1 week ago. So we're into that public comment period right now. officially, but there's been a ton of discussion over the past few months of this thing being opened anyway. So I don't think I haven't heard yet any more feedback or pushback. We've already talked to the SIG, the TOC already knows about everything. I don't expect much pushback because we've already really had all these conversations. So it is open, and that's part of the process. And as soon as the 2-week public comment period is over, then SOD, as far as I understand, can call a vote with the TOC.
Right. I just looked at the message you posted as far as public comment period open. I don't see any responses to that. Do you? Or have you seen anything?
No, I didn't see any at all. No, which is kind of what I was expecting too, because it's all these conversations have already been had with people that are involved in in the TOC and the storage SIG and all that stuff. So unless it was not a random, but somebody who is a member of the ecosystem and subscribe to the TOC mailing list, etc., which a lot of people are. This being the first they've heard of it, and then wanting to dissent or ask questions, but I don't think that's super common for that to happen necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, I'm subscribed to the TOC mailing list, so any post that does come in, I'll see it, and I'm planning on responding to any of those if they come in.
Yep. Cool. One
Sweet.
more week to go then.
Yep. And then when that's over, we'll gently remind SOD to call a vote. Maybe provide some gifts or some incentives to make that happen. But we'll make it happen. Okay. Can't wait. Yeah, and as a side note, I thought it was a little funny that the graduation is taking quite a while, but Sandbox the Sandbox level got an update to the process to streamline it significantly, and like 8 or 9 or 10 projects got accepted into the Sandbox within the last 2 weeks or so.
Nice.
So they're getting in there pretty quick nowadays with that new process, but not graduation.
Was there just a bot that approves now? Oh, sure.
Not quite, but it's streamlined. Okay. So then virtual Kubecon is coming up. The one note that I have on this here is that July 6th is the recommendation or the request from the Kubecon organizers if you want your presentation to be recorded by them, by the software and team that they're contracting with to record presentations. If you, however, you want to record yourself, then you have a much later deadline. I think it's like July 20th something. So you get at least about an extra 2 weeks or so. And then you can also use any format you want. If you go with the CNCF recordings, you have to be ready by July 6th, and you have to only use PowerPoint as well due to a limitation in the platform.
Right.
So doing your own recording, it seems like a better way to go if you're prepared for it. Alexander was mentioning to me earlier this morning that he has some tools for that. The OSB, was it Open Streaming Broadcast?
OBS. Yep, OBS. Yep.
So Alexander can help out, I assume. He's obviously going to help out with this recording for the intro, but I assume that Alexander is a swell guy, and he'd be able to help out with the deep dive as well, surely.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Well, welcome to the stream, Jared. Thanks for the donation.
Thanks for the donation.
Oh, wait, we're not on Twitch? No, sorry.
Yeah, we also could always use extra time for a later deadline too. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to add a note to that real quick here. If recording on a couple weeks later, and you can use something other than PowerPoint. Okay. So Alexander and I will follow up on updating the intro deck, sending that out for feedback and comments and such, probably on the maintainers channel, and then we'll get that recording done.
And actually, I pinged Dimitri today just to start coordinating this, and he responded in the maintainers channel, maybe you saw it, that, quote, we might need to remove the EdgeFS part from the presentation at this time, perhaps substitute it with another operator such as Cassandra. So I think the approach for deep dives we had started taking was that the stable providers would present in the deep dive because there was less content for the other ones. But honestly, I just barely saw his comment, so I haven't thought about how we should.
And he's not on the call, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Might be good to ask a little more if we can ask him some more questions about is that a final decision, or if there's more there, to see if that's still the case, or definitely the case. But yeah, otherwise then we can open it up to other storage providers to see if there's content that they're excited to share.
Right. Maybe for NFS to present the work that's been going on with is it Ahmad? I keep forgetting his name.
Ahmad. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility too. To that he's been doing some more work on that, and probably has some lessons learned to share about controller runtime and admission webhooks, and the latest thinking about how that design architecture and implementation can go back into the storage, the Rook framework and stuff too. So there's probably some good content there too.
All right, so we'll follow up on what happens with the deep dive session.
Yep, sounds good to me. Okay. And then, so speaking of Google Summer of Code, as we were just talking about, Ahmad, has a pull request open with the implementation of migrating NFS operator to using the controller runtime, and also having the validating admission webhook in there too, and updated the README and everything. It's been reviewed by Ashish, Rohan, and myself as well, and then I've manually tested it as well. Ahmad is adding unit tests for it as of the last time we synced up last week, and we have a sync up, a Wednesday morning sync up every week. So I will check in with Ahmad tomorrow morning to see what the latest status of that is. But things are going very good. Ahmad's doing a great job with digging into the code and making things happen with limited oversight. So Ahmad's definitely doing a good job. And evaluation 1 of 3 will be done this week, and then we'll submit that and proceed to phase 2 of the 3-phased Google Summer of Code program. Okay, we got some CI issues, Travis.
Yep, I just wanted to bring that up for awareness, or most people on the call already know probably, but the last few days, since about Wednesday of last week, we were having CI issues. Setting up KubeADM was randomly failing, and then a couple days ago it started failing really consistently, except for Kubernetes 1.18. There were some changes in the CI image, the base image that Adam had made a couple days ago. So he reverted that to see if that would help stabilize, and it has helped today. So it's still not clear what the cause of the issue was, because he hadn't made changes mid last week. So we're following up to investigate, but the CI looks better today at least. There's still an issue with 1.11, but there's only been one release build that's run that so far. So it may have been intermittent or whatever, but we would still like to support 1.11. So we'll continue investigating. I think that's about it for that.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for that update, Travis. Is Adam getting pretty good focus time on that as well? It sounds like he's still been able to contribute, which is awesome. Yeah,
he's been able to kind of sporadically, whenever there's a need, contribute. He hasn't spent much time on it though. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Cool. It's great
to do more here, I think, though.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Then PRs or issues that we want to discuss. So Ceph CSI snapshots are being updated from alpha to beta.
Yeah, Madhu was on the call.
Yeah, he was just on the call until like 30 seconds ago. Oh, no, shoot.
Right, so we just missed him. But yeah, I put this on the agenda just for awareness that so CSI snapshots have gone from alpha to beta, and the CSI driver for Ceph is now moving from alpha to beta, which means snapshots older or that were built using the alpha CSI API are not going to work anymore. So those need to be removed, and then new snapshots created with the beta, which should be non-breaking going forward, at least. But,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's definitely good.
So we never love breaking changes, but at least, I mean, that's the point of alpha, is that it's not guaranteed to not be breaking. So.
Yep. Is it possible to have like a manual migration or upgrade steps with the next release for this, or is this have to delete existing snapshots and recreate them or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the upgrade guide will have steps, and that's in Madhu's PR as well, for how to deal with that upgrade of CSI if you have snapshots.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah, I think that's something that this community has consistently done a really good job on is supporting, at least through what manual steps to take migrations across versions. So that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And then we kind of talked about the Cassandra base image having some security vulnerabilities. So
yeah. Do you want to? I think we said mostly everything already. That's simply to summarize, there's CVEs in the base image that we're using for Cassandra as of right now, the Alpine 3.8 image, and this PR simply pushes it to 3.12, which is the latest version. And I think also due to the CI issues, the CI is currently not passing, or has it passed? I think I just saw a green check mark at the bottom. Oh, wonderful. So I'll go ahead and merge it one, unless Travis or someone else wants to take another look. But the image has changed, and the pending release notes has been. I've added an entry. We've updated it. So I'll probably just go ahead and match it.
Yep. We need the backport 1.3 tag on it. Yep. So it'll.
Oh yeah. Could you do that while we're at it? Thank you, Jared.
Yep. Backport 1.3. Boop.
Yeah. So that's basically the story there. And now with that, we should have it resolved. And I think after having probably caused like at least 2 or 3 emails to every person on the security mailing list, I think I finally got the email out to the initial author of the email thread about the Cassandra issue. So, well, let's hope that we get a response now.
Great. Yep. And then let's include that in the release and get that done. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alexander. Okay. And then the last item here is about the NATS team. They had expressed that they had some use cases for Rook and wanted to meet with us and learn more about it and kind of get a bit of early support to help them understand and see if that's the right sort of storage solution for them. We had a back and forth or two, and I didn't see any follow-up from or times available from their side. So I guess we should ping them again and see if I can offer some times for them to be able to have that conversation. I know Travis, you'd probably definitely be an important part of that. Do you have certain windows of availability that would work best for you, or do you want to like maybe just reply to that email with some of your available times to kind of prod them along about when to meet?
Yeah. Let me just make sure I can find that real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Who was on that?
It was Derek Collison, who's the founder of NATS, was the original author on that one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll respond to that too.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you, Travis. Yeah. And then, there's a couple people on that email thread that are all more than welcome to join that conversation for sure.
Do you happen to know what time zone they're mostly in?
I think they're North America. I don't know which one, but I do not believe they're. Well, actually, Derek is North America. I don't know if some of the other folks, like Ivan and Wally, I don't know where they are actually.
Okay. That's good.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for following up on that, Travis. So that is the end of the topics we had in the agenda for today. Were there any other further agenda topics that folks wanted to bring up that were not in the agenda?
Well, it was on the agenda, the Cassandra thing, but if maybe someone else, maybe Jared or Travis, wants to try to send the email, I just got 2 emails back saying address not found and such.
For the original sender or which email address?
Well, I tried to send it like to reply to sender, and it didn't fill out the email, so I had just copied the one that was there, but it's saying, hey, this message, because the address could not be found, and then it says like, yeah, the group so-and-so. Like, I'm not sure if where to get the original email from.
Oh, okay. Could you,
Or if
that
it's
bounce message,
Oh, yeah.
so that bounce message, could you just copy and then paste that into Slack and a DM to me, and then just so I kind of have more context about what's bouncing, and then I'll try to respond back to include everyone. Sweet.
By the way, I tried the group reply, but I was just replying to the group, it seems. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. The list is a little silly, I guess, but yeah, I'll try to get the information back to the original reporters.
Okay. Thank you.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Cool. Then, if there are not any further agenda items, then we can go ahead and adjourn for the week.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Good to see y'all.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Stay safe.